Down here, salt is a way of life.
Great.
Hey, welcome. It is a Monday. We are in the Saltmine League, and we are running some long-form exhibition sets. I am BradM. I loved it so much yesterday, I came back today. And joining me is Houseman, celebrating the birthday today. Just going to get that right out of the way.
We're going to put it out there. Hello, everybody. I'm back from a slight hiatus, but I'm glad to be back and with Brad today for these fun exhibition matches. To start off, we have with us, I believe the username is Uncle Bennis. I think that's what he goes by. Mr. Joel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Joel McDP, according to Twitter, and Uncle Bennis, which there is no way. I will say McDP versus Uncle Venus is maybe some of the most meme heavy. Like, we're front loading on the memery in these names. If the caliber of play measures up to how fun it's going to be for me to say these names, then I think we're in for a good set.
Absolutely. What I really like about these is that, like, we don't know these players too well, at least off the top of our heads. Although we do have quite the caliber already. Grandmaster versus Ultra Diamond, I see. Even if we don't know the players too well, first to 5 allows them to really create a repertoire between themselves just within one set. It doesn't have to be over the course of a bunch of tournaments because they're not all first to 2s or first to 3s. It's a first to 5, and later on we're going to have first to 7s. And you can really see what players have a strong start, who adapts very well, or who holds on to their prowess. And we'll see how that plays out today.
Yeah, I mean, we're loading in already. There's never any downtime here in the Saltmine League. So, first to 5, as we said, Chun-Li versus Sakura, Uncle Venus, and Joel McD. I'm sorry, McDP. Mickey DP. You can have it your way.
Absolutely. Serving
You
millions
want jab strength?
of reversals. Day one. All right, starting off with the favorite fireball game. Actually, really important to establish.
Woo!
Nice on that. Sakura's fireball is not the best in the game, but as long as you can show that you have one, it will help fight Chun-Li's neutral, which is so strong, especially in this season.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And the flip side of that as well is we're already seeing the representation of that stand short buffer. Sakura stand short really good. You watch some of the better Sakuras. You come from the online local as well, so you're familiar with like Space Boy and other that, and you see really representing that tool early is going to be a big deal. Uncle Venus slowly walking him down into the corner, though.
Absolutely. The early start not really paying off in the long run. The life lead's about the same right now. Building up some meter with those Thunder Thighs.
Okay, deactivate. And you swung in the plus frames. You shouldn't have. Oh, you shouldn't have. You can have this your way, though.
Absolutely. Throw another plus frames, respecting the V skill, not getting a full counter hit, but still plus frames for days. This is not over just yet, though. Uncle Ben is sitting on full V trigger, too. That thing is deadly.
I mean, at this point, though, if you're Joel McD, and I like this approach, keeping it really slow, staying outside of the fierce and roundhouse range, you know the activation points, right? There's one, but there's 15 seconds left on the clock, and you've got the life lead. If you don't make any major missteps here, you can just win this on timeout. That was almost it. Uh-oh.
Say it. Spoken too soon. It's not going to be close to dead. In fact, I think Joel still has no, not even the life lead. Bettis has the life lead now. He can just run away. Yep, and with 3 frame crouch light kicks because she's broken as hell. Uncle Bennis takes the first round.
Wow, you really, all you had to do was not follow the damn train, McD. All you had to do, we had the coffee at home. There's some mixed metaphors there. I haven't finished my whole coffee yet. Give me a couple of minutes.
It's okay. It's all good. So he's still trying to buffer that. Yeah. Still trying to buffer that stand light kick and not doing too much with it.
Yeah,
Bennis not exposing himself.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find an answer to these anti-airs. There's the start of it, finding that crouch fierce there. That's like the third jump that Uncle Bennis is known for. I think that's gonna end up playing out a little bit more. And it's like, I think part of it is representing the jump is a big deal because the ground game, Joel McD is doing a great job of playing the ground game right now, so you need to go to the air to kind of add on to the mental stack. Ooh, that's an empty, not quite so low.
Yeah. Trying to go for the throw, and Uncle Bennis just not ready for the buttons after the plus on whiff.
But now, a similar situation here. Life lead for Joel McD, but Uncle Bennis fully stocked. Will we see the repeat? It was so good, I went back the same time. So about one pop, you can't stop. Boom, there it is.
Not gonna use the CA just yet.
All right, we have to wait a little bit.
Nice, good
okay.
use. So yeah, all right, good start. I mean, it's looking really strong. Joel looking like he's struggling as soon as that V trigger is a possibility.
Yeah, I think it's just a question of not quite finishing the plate. There's a lot there. It's just the defensive play. I mean, once Uncle Venus has V trigger, right? You can follow up that V trigger, and suddenly what was just an errant footsie game, you get in. So it's like Joel is completely comfortable playing and eating some of the fierces in this more mid-range focus game, and it's fine. But once VT is on deck, suddenly that leads to real damage, and then you're done.
You might see him take to the air a bit more later on in that case, but we'll see how Joel adapts. He's going a bit more aggressive, letting that stun bar go down now, though, because it's just not a possibility anymore. He is just looking for the kill. No stun is a factor.
Ooh, nice buffer on the low throw.
Tries for the full shimmy, delays a bit too much. Doesn't go for the CA. Will he live to regret it?
Yeah, I wonder if maybe it was too far away and like one of the earlier hits of the DP were just not. Oh no, you over dashed! And just like that, could it be the three-peat?
Oh no, not like this. That's it.
Oh.
No, he got greedy. Ah, both players being a little greedy with their meter.
As the activate. Oh, I don't know if this is gonna kill on chip. Yes, it will.
All right, Joel realizing he needs to spend that butter right here, right now. Take the round.
That's probably. I mean, it's the first round, right? And that's been the big adjustment. I think you really need to try to finish the plate. This neutral game is strong, but especially with VT stocked and Uncle Venus is so conservative with the meter, there's lots of big cash-in. Speaking of cash-in and cashing out those counter hits, 2-for-1 sale. It's on the dollar menu.
Venus looking a little intimidated by that meter, but now no more Tatsus until he gets another meter because he needs to threaten with the DP follow-up. Doing the real dirty stuff like that V skill, unfortunately doesn't follow up with the Tatsu properly.
And this is the same thing this is like the story of this matchup so far is the second Venus gets VT, it's like, well, time to forever dance around stand pierce range because I don't want to deal with it. And it slows everything down, but there's so much damage on deck, and Joel's too afraid to finish the job, but gonna get the very end of the DP off that fireball activate. Just barely managed to get enough VT to do that through everything going on, and finishing out the second game 1-1 in our first to 5.
Right, looking a lot stronger. This time focusing a bit more around the crouching medium kick buffer as opposed to this standing light kick. The spacing just different enough that you saw Venus walking into it and eating those buffered crouch medium kicks into those DPs, and that's all that Joel needed.
All right, still playing really slow, comfortable, kind of surrendering some of this space. And I wonder if I'm Uncle Venus, right, and I'm trying to evaluate this, especially in a longer set. I think if you know that Joel is willing to walk back out of stand fierce range rather than keeping you from walking into it, you just get comfortable doing exactly what he's doing here, slowly working towards the corner where he can't go anymore and forcing it. Unfortunately, if you overextend like that and get jumped on...
Yeah, That EX Tatsu in particular for the Ender was fantastic. He needed to bring this back into the neutral game. Joel needs to either carry the beginning and finish strong, or like he cannot get the big comeback factor that Venus has with a V-Trigger 2. Sakura just does not have that option. Bro, and a block DP, that's it. Just takes the round.
Round 2. Fight.
Just the story of the match. Utilizing the low forward a little bit. That's one adjustment. Ooh, the buffer on the stand short still so good.
Again?
Nice find that anti-air, and ooh, if you walk yourself into the corner, that's just walking your opponent into the corner with one extra step.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
What a
Anti-air
read.
fireball.
Yeah, the first one of the set, but I'm sure not the last.
Oh, the walk under to finish the job. One round apiece. Nice trip guards. And finding these answers to the jump ins, it's a little bit less reliant on the anti-air and a little more reliant on just good spacing. And given that I think the best credit to Joel so far in this set has been the spacing and the patience, I think that's a good thing to lean into if you want it as an additional answer to the jump-in game.
Absolutely. Right now, we've seen the evolution from fireball to buffers to walking, basically, as Joel's answer to Bennis's superior neutral, just from the character select. He has to outplay this man. He can't just rely on his basic tools, because this is what's going to happen. He's going to get tossed into the corner and bullied. That's out with the jump in, though.
Jump over. That's it. That was interesting that the standing short anti-air ended up causing cross under. Ooh, we hit you with the can stuff. Sakura trained by Ryu, but she'll pull out the can stuff, getting stunned. The neutral jump throw punish. Gonna finish out the job. Oh no, just shy of it. The scaling is something else, but you cannot sit on your laurels. Don't sit back in the lazy chair, Uncle Venus. Joel McDee's gonna come through and take your TV out the living room. 2-1.
Looking really strong. Just looking strong on his gameplay right now. He's not using there's no mechanic that he's abusing in particular. He's cycling through his options. He's constantly adjusting to Bennis's approach, and it's really working out for him. Can Bennis just things himself before it goes totally sideways?
Yeah, I mean, the air approach hasn't really been working, I think, as much as it needed to, and she should have the superior ground game. It's just unfortunate that Joel has the answer in those spacings and fantastic buffers. It's just been really smart placement of the buttons.
Good confirm. And a little impatient, might take the throw this time. Good anti-air.
Ooh!
A classic. I have a DP and I'm gonna use it. Joel takes this round of our 4th game in the set. Being very patient.
And as the set is going on, I feel like Joel is getting more and more confident. That first game, the one that went to Uncle Venus, Venus and Bennis, I like the latter. Okay, I see that there's some confusion. I'll switch. It was humorous to me. I will call it Bennis, and then if I ended up right in the first place, then I'm just gonna say I told you so and say that it was for the means. But we'll go with Uncle Bennis. Point is, Uncle Bennis was able to clean out the rounds in that first case, but it was always off the back foot, and I think Joel is just figuring out the correct ways to finish the job. Maybe it's not super aggressive, but it's just a better mindset around things like the stand pierce. Oh, I was right. Cool. Boom.
You're fired, Brad.
No, he says, no, I was right.
Absolutely, he was right. Man knows his pronunciations. Fireball, so much pressure. Right now, Joel looking good, but again, one activation can change things. Standing heavy punch? Nope, not that one.
We know he's gonna do that every time.
Good with
into
the
the
guard
guard
break.
break?
I think that, yeah, it's not going to kill. It's not even going to be in throw range. Oh, you know what? With the CA, it will put him in throw range. Wait, is that dead?
Just barely not. Oh, okay.
With the delay
because we didn't
rise.
get up in time. Oh, but this we've seen this.
This
couple of times.
fireball.
Let's use the fireball. That was
You
a
got
smart
hit by
crouch
a
strong.
Final round.
You got hit by a smooth criminal right there. Just going right under.
She came into the window. Was the sound of taking L's though?
No approach after those stand heavy kicks are blocked. Even though Joel is -4, trying to jump over the fireball. It's interruption, but no buffer behind it. You see this crab walk that both players are playing right now.
So that was really interesting. Getting that throw off the. Oh no!
We're seeing that crab walk pay off. A buffer misused. Joel is in the corner. Has to use activation.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Mistimed DX spinning river.
Ooh, my EXDP is better than yours.
Great pressure going on right now, but again, it could go sideways. Uncle Benes has V-trigger activation on deck. Santier, and it bait something? Interesting neutral jumps.
I feel like the neutral jumps are an answer to the V skill from Sakura, because with the fireball up, it's pretty likely that that's going to be the answer. So just go into the neutral jump, the late cancel legs would catch an air-to-air, or she could catch Joel moving forward. Ooh, speaking of moving forward, you should have been holding backwards, and that's going to be 2-2 now, as Uncle Benes is able to finish out this round.
Yeah. We saw a late cancel there on the stand heavy punch, because the stand heavy punch was blocked. It was just a late cancel into the V-trigger that caught Joel. Now, some characters are actually able to challenge that gap. It is a gap that can be challenged by stuff like Karen's crouching medium punch. But I don't know if Sakura has anything to really call Venus out on that stuff.
I don't know, we'll have to see. If anybody, if he needs those buttons his way, then perhaps Joel Mickey D himself will have it. You just got to make sure that you go, you look at that dollar menu, and you figure it out. But we're going to have to see what's going to end up happening. I do like the adjustments with those neutral jumps that you had called attention to. It looks like that was part of the answer to some of this, and it was kind of... The ebb and flow of the match has kind of been once Uncle Benes gets VT and what happens around that, and the late cancels of the neutral jump air legs were doing a great job of shutting down Joel's adjustment to it. So we're already kind of seeing some of that back and forth here. And that's only, we're not even through enough games for it to be a 1-3 yet. This is still 2-2. This is a 1-5 set though. So there's tons of adaptation that can still be happening.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Everything can change within a moment's notice. We're going back to character select just to take a breather, reset things a bit. Yeah, the score is what we're at right now, and we'll see who takes it.
I like that JR Sky. It just, unfortunately, I am not clever enough to now come up with further lyrics for Ebb and Flow. And it's not for lack of trying. I am letting you know that I am trying. But I can barely understand Eddie Vedder on a good day. So changing the lyrics humorously, that's like far too many layers of abstraction. That's like when you translate something from English to 7 other languages and then back to English and Google Translate.
It just doesn't work out.
It's not quite the same.
Quite literal loss in translation. Good start from Uncle Benes, getting this corner pressure early, but Joel just jumping out again. We might see a bit of a weakness for Benes right now, where he's being a bit too aggressive in the corner and letting Joel just get out with these jumps.
Okay, we're starting this throw pressure. I see 2. Do I see 3?
He tried, but he got caught with that crouch leg kick. Activation point, but the pressure gets stopped. Ow, just gets out with his own V skill. Both characters working with that V skill that leaps them forward. Good activation. This will go into the CA. It'll be close, not quite dead, but one guard break setup could do it.
Oh, DP's out, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was worried about the leg follow-up, but probably didn't guess that he would go for the second rep in that jump down medium kick.
Oh,
Nice
and there's
jump
that
over.
once again. I'm loving these neutral jump and forward jump with the late cancel into the legs as an answer to this fireball game. You try to jump over the fireball, you're not going to get it.
But like a lot of Chun-Li's stuff, it doesn't really give her too much reward, and right now, Joel has the life lead, great buffer.
I think while that's true, I think so much of this set so far has been the amount of life that Uncle Dennis gets before VT activation is just a freebie, right? Off the activation, you get good damage into a advantageous situation, and then you maybe win off of that. And this could be what we're about to see now. Did Uncle Venus get enough damage before the immediate, imminent Stand Fierce activate? And you know it's only going to happen on hit.
Because there's no wick punishing Stand Fierce. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen. You might get lucky and wish punish it. You're not gonna whiff punish it on reaction because it's coming like a train.
And there we are into the guard break. This is the exact same setup we saw last time. Gonna get into CA. You may live by a hair, but if you do, you gotta deal with this situation on Wake Up. What's it gonna be? Ooh!
That was cheeky. That was cheeky, that overhead.
Okay.
Deserved the DP there. I'm sorry. That was cheeky as hell.
It was a smart one though. Off the meaty fireball too. Like you could have just gone right for it. You waited for the layer 2. Like the fireball would have caught, you know, wake up tech or something like that.
Yeah. I appreciate the effort, but all right. We are into this final round of game. I think 6 we're at right now.
No, this will be game 5. This is still, we are still at 2-2. This is a first to 5 for anyone who's just joining. There's that anti-air fireball, and Joel needs to bring some of that out. That's kind of this next adaptation that's happening in the face of Uncle Dennis's air approach.
Such a nice reward for such a big risk, to be honest. This interruption. Still stuck in the corner a bit. Crush counter.
Crush counter.
Yeah, building that meter. Not quite at V-trigger just yet. Just needs to block a little bit more.
There it is. And now, look at Joel's life. And Uncle Venus. Boom. And there's CA on deck. You might be...
Not dead yet.
That's a lot of scaling, yeah.
Gee, it is. It is dead. I'm totally wrong.
Is.
Yeah. Sorry to your face. That's the end of this game. Uncle Venus is at 3-2 right now in our first to 5.
You know what happens when commentators are wrong on right? Even if it's your birthday, you're still fired, bro.
Send the pink slip to me. Send it to the U.S. government. I'm sure they'll give me some compensation. I'm sure they will.
I mean, maybe now. Hey, well, just a question though: can he still use you as a reference, or should we just move on from there?
I wouldn't even if he allowed me to. How about that? Send another pink slip. Send it again.
He said he didn't care. I don't need your reference.
I'm waiting for that mic symbol, the mute symbol, to turn off and for Ritas to chew me out again.
You always know. I think somebody tweeted after yesterday. They were like, "Oh, it was a fun event, even though the commentators kept getting fired." I was like, "Is it a Saltmine event if nobody's getting fired?" I don't think.
Yeah,
it is.
if it's not raining pink slips, you should be concerned.
You know what? We got Mickey D in the game, but Saltmine looking like Burger King because these commentators get how fired they are. Ooh, that doesn't qualify as bars. Nobody give me that. Nobody give me that at all.
They're referring to how Burger King's business isn't doing too hot.
Oh, well. Are you going to say that Burger King's financial situation is looking aflame?
No, unfortunately, looking quite cold. But right now we have hot action in front of us. Joel looking good with those fireballs. Interrupting the poking game that Uncle Venus wants to get started. Is finally getting started because the wall is closing in. They're getting tight. Anti-air's the Tatsu. Interesting trade.
Okay, charging that fireball off the EX. Okay, here we see. Now we're at layer 3. I'm just gonna early air to air you, says Joel.
Oh, good catch off of the V-reverse.
Nice.
That's it. Nice little buffer. It's a clean game. Kind of the first we've seen in this set. It's always gone down to V-trigger, but That was fairly clean on Joel's part. Almost fully in his own control.
Okay, waiting and trying to challenge in the follow-up after. Okay, nice crouch jab check.
Buffer still going on. Wow,
okay.
the stand fierce.
It's interesting. Is that the V-skill change? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, yes, it is a V-skill change. I did not notice myself.
So that's another adaptation going on in this, is now, you know, that ability to follow up on these longer range pokes in some of these whiff and wish punish situations. Homie's gonna make a wish.
Yeah.
Had to invest in it. Need to make sure that the business stayed profitable.
Absolutely. Tossed in the corner now. Throwing that EX fireball, building some more meter. Throwing out these longer range buttons because the reward is just gonna be slightly better now. Interruptions. Tossing that plasma.
But it's still looking, it's a story, it's a tale as old as time and a song as old as rhyme. Where is Stan Fierce in VT?
Alright, slowly encroaching. The wall's coming in.
Oh,
no confirm off of that. Not like the situation's changed though. It's not like that was a terrible miss. He gets a million more Stan Fierces. There it is.
Oh, there we are. 10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
might as well go into the CA, burn the timer.
And then you're just gonna backdash.
Yeah,
Backdash full screen. A meaty fireball and just wait. Boom. It's how many rounds have gone this way?
I mean, when you're playing this slow ground-based game where neither player is overextending themselves too much, this is gonna happen. No juggle into the fireball, Capcom, please. He got three resets.
Ultra Rainbow
off of
Edition.
That. Come on. Vanilla Sagat can get trade DP into Ultra. Sakura should get the same. That's all I'm saying. It's fireball placement. Trying to use that Stand Fierce to create a wish punish scenario. So the EX fireball, creating that space once more, where Uncle Venus is a little scared to throw out that stand heavy punch.
I mean, the longer this goes and the more bar Uncle Venus builds, the better it is for them when they finally get the activate. I feel like it's always been VT and CA.
That's the big change about this V skill going on right now, though, is that he gets a little more damage in corner carry with the V skill 2 when he's in V trigger 1. Combination's just a little stronger. Even ask, are you ready to lose? Let's see.
Right, this is all it takes.
Exactly.
Even anything into guard break into CA. It doesn't even need to be guard break. You have to
No.
earn the guard break, but who cares?
Oh no, what was that? Was
Try it!
Is that supposed to be an EXDP?
So it looked like it was an EX Fireball, but I have to believe that it was supposed to be an EXDP, which would have been right. But your stick hit right one too many times. It didn't hit left, but it doesn't matter. The wholesale dash down the whole screen.
That was gorgeous.
You know what that was? That was when
Flash.
That was when you see the Mickey D's on the other side and you realize you're hungry, so you have to whip around across 3 lanes of traffic to get in. That's the intensity that Joel McD just ran down that big. It's the Shamrock Shake. It's limited.
Trying to get the Shamrock Shake equivalent of beating this Chun into the corner. Nice. Okay. Wow. Just wake up crouch medium punch. No respect at all for the situation. Crouch heavy punch. Excuse me. Nice anti-air.
Here we are, straight underneath. You know what's weird is that's a perfectly viable activation, and like it was the right decision. But with how the sets have been going, I actually wish he had just waited until he had more resources so he could do it off of Stand Fears. It's just like every time he's activated off a low strong under a fireball or something like that, it's not gone his way. And look at that, exactly the same. It's like just relying on the strength of the straight up footsies and the hit confirmability off it to cash into huge damage has been making the swing. We're not seeing the big comeback factor off of the errant hits into activate and then keeping it in neutral.
If errant hits that EX spinning bird kick. Able to punish the air fireball attempt. Spacing just too far. A reactionary attempt. So the Tatsu, no threat of the fireball, or excuse me, the DP afterwards. interruption.
Okay.
Joel with a little bit of a life deficit going on right now. Nothing V-Trigger 1 can't fix. But he keeps running into this stuff. He might not have time.
Oh, this round is looking decent for Uncle Venus. Not if you get crushed, though. Oh, the greedy stand flip reset? You wanted the side switch or something, or at least to threaten the side switch, and you did not get it. We're going to have a conversation at the shareholders meeting, Joel McD.
Final round.
Into our final round now. Again, poking more so with the fireballs now. Both players being a bit more conservative with their normals. Right. Long-range pokes now. Will Joel walk out? Will he walk himself into the corner and just jump out? Wow, sweep into the V skill.
Roll.
Nice interruption. Gets out for free. No anti-air this time, though. Gets right under. And into the corner you go. Comes into the X fireball. Nice V reversal. Okay, charging through with that fireball.
Again, look, Venus has full CA, and all of this damage just getting you closer to having the VT activate. It's at this point, I honestly feel like any damage Uncle Venus gets is just like a freebie. It's like, yeah, sure. The game begins when I get VT, at which point you're eating a bunch of damage off of one of these pokes. Until then, these pokes are just an appetizer.
Yeah, and even then, with the life deficit showing up right now, if he takes one more poke, one stand fierce into CA, doesn't even matter. The good jump in call, that's it. You're gonna see the whole animation. Yeah, as Venus takes
4-3.
Yeah.
I feel like I looked away, like I blinked at 2-2, and it's this weird, like I feel like I entered the annex in Interstellar, and like just watching all the different permutations of just footsies happening right now. It's like I have to see 5-dimensional footsies in a 3-dimensional space, and suddenly it's 4-3 Uncle Venus in a hella crazy back and forth. So good. Somebody go back in time to like 2017 or 2016 or whatever, and tell people that are saying Street Fighter V has no footsies to watch this. Tell me there's no footsies in this game, and then watch this.
I mean, right now it's very footsies dominated, but the reward just gets so skewed as soon as Venus gets that V-Trigger too. It's really the driving force of most of his wins in these matches.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's kind of like all of these pokes are just pokes. The second it's VT, it's like, cool, now I get everything. You know, it cashed into huge damage, better knockdown situation with some real Oki. There we are.
Yeah. This is a bigger hill to climb, though, although that throw is going to help. Right now, that hill has been shortened, and this is dead. Oh no, he sets up the guard break. There it is.
It's been the guard break setup, I think, every time. Which is fine. Yeah, it's worked out every time, and I don't know off the top of my head if that's the kind of thing, if the knockdown that Uncle Venus is doing it off of is one where you can like back tech or quick tech or something. Like someone will tell me, because maybe I don't know, but I don't know if there's an answer on Wake Up Joel should be doing. I guess maybe you could EXDP on Wake Up if you have it.
Yeah, he didn't, unfortunately. Right now, only having one bar, wasting it, unfortunately, with a late EX Fireball to try to blow through. The life lead is his, but for how long?
Blocking that Fireball got Uncle Venus VT now. So we have to, like, the stand fierces are huge now.
Yeah, that sweep was anticipatory. He was waiting for him to use stand heavy punch and crush counter it.
Another thing to Venus's credit, the low short challenges and some of these wider gaps that Joel is doing have been really good. Ooh, out of the corner, that's huge. All this space to walk back. Even if Joel starts to feel aggressive, we activate on block now.
No V reversal, just accepting the +2. Activates his own. Using the fireballs to create space, really good. Just get him out of the corner.
I wonder if throwing all these fireballs, I mean, you burned your whole VT, but I wonder, like, what are the odds that you were trying to bait out the super through it, knowing that you would live through it, and then just not have to deal with the threat of it anymore? Dash in back throw to finish out the round. Got a little bit complacent, but still not out of it. Uncle Venus still on set point. Joel looking to make this 4-4.
Neither player wanting to make the first move. There it is. Stand heavy kick. Blocked. Not forgotten. There it is again. Trying with his own forward roundhouse. Nice with the dash in. Now we're seeing things get a little more wild. We're seeing dash in throws. We're seeing dash in normals.
But it's crazy that it's happening this late in a first to 5, and that's the type of thing that you only see in these longer sets. That it's been such a deliberate ground game for so long. Only now are you opening up this. Cool, time to dash in. You've not been hitting buttons because you know there's whiff punishment. So boom, I've suddenly got the space. Speaking of whiff punishment, I still got those too. Not finishing the job though.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tatsu just slightly out of range. Capcom, please. Just a raw V skill. Okay, cashing out.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. You're gonna get, try to set up aggressive something. Okay, but even on block now, you just go back to a stand fierce game. As long as you don't get clapped by anything too big, you're probably fine.
Oh, too far out of range for the combo, and that should be it. Uncle Benes takes it 5-3.
Yeah, I mean, so much of that just came down to both of them had fantastic spacing, and for a lot of that set, I felt like I wanted to give the credit to Joel. I think the thing was, like you said, so much of it was the second VT was on deck. Uncle Benes's Stand Fierce became more than just a poke, it was a party starter. And that party, throwing a rager, the CA always coming out. As there was no miss. Every CA was hit.
There was just the risk reward situation just becomes so heavily skewed in Benes's favor at that point that there's just no way to get around it aside from taking even bigger risks, such as jump ins, such as fireballs, such as meter use that you would normally save for a bigger expenditure down the line. But instead, he just kind of had to, him being McDP, had to just kind of spend it just trying to keep that spacing that would keep him safe. And unfortunately, it didn't pay out in this sense.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being a slightly too volatile thing, even though the system was kept in fairly consistent order, but it was just volatile enough to swing out of Joel's way just enough times. Wow, so there's a way to start it, right?
Oh. It's a good way to start it, but we do have to move on. We have Corethion, who is a Nash player, I believe.
Yeah, so...
Done a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean...
in the Saltmine League.
Yeah, I was saying that I remembered seeing Corethion yesterday, but for when I first was reading the name, I was like, I cannot recall who he played. And then seeing Nash, I was like, oh, right, how can I forget a Nash player? It's a diamond in the rough.
It's so easy to forget Nash players, unfortunately, because not because of them, not for their efforts. The character just gets smothered so easily in this game that it's just unfortunate. But good on Corethion for keeping up the good work with the character. We'll have to see if he can prove victorious against his opponent, who we have invited, but it's just taking a bit of time. Duva Chief.
Yeah, and while we wait, letting all of y'all know, if for some reason you aren't already familiar with what the Saltmine is doing, this is not the only content that the Saltmine brings you every week. This is just the Monday show. We get the Friday show with King of the Saltmine, 8-player, single elimination bracket. If you win, you get the right to challenge the King of the Saltmine. Right now, it is 6 weeks straight of Bolt Strike standing atop the mountain. So if you want to see if somebody keeps it from getting to lucky number 7, you want to tune in Friday. And then on Sundays is the Prestige event, the Saltmine ranking tournament. It is season 10. 10 weeks of ranking tournaments means that we get some extra content for you. So it is an extended season with 11 open tournaments. Top 8 placements, I believe, will give you ranking points into the circuit, and then the placing players are played into a final bracket to crown who ultimately is the ranking tournament champion. Week 3 will be this coming Sunday, and if you aren't already, please follow on Twitch and on Twitter, and check out that YouTube channel where all of this content ends up going to. If you want to see the hottest EU Street Fighter, Redis put his neck out yesterday, actually, and said, the hottest Street Fighter. bar none. That Regis decided to stake his neck out on that. And you know what? There's a real case to be made there because there is so much fantastic action that happens here on the Saltmine.
Definitely making its way to be the center and heart of the EU community, and it's really nice to see that. But right now, there's something more pressing at the moment.
Ooh, okay.
Our challenger has arrived. Another Chun. Va Chief versus Karathion. This is going to be interesting. Nash focuses a lot more on his pokes, a lot more on his fireballs, and then pressure once he gets that corner. Chun, we've just seen, uses a lot of pokes, not with high reward until she gets that V-Trigger too, which Va Chief is also rocking. So we'll see how things kind of go out in this first to 7.
I got a question for you, Houseman. I know today's your birthday, but given that we've just stepped in a time machine and it's now season 1, how old are you?
I am 28. I was, what, 23?
You were 28 in season 1?
No, I was 20. No, if we're in the time machine, I was 23, I believe. 28
Stepping
today.
back into the... God, when did it was 2015 when it came out? When did Street Fighter 5
2016. It was 2016, if I recall correctly. Because we are now in season 5.
I can't in all good conscience call that a good year.
2016 was not a great year, no. Well, was 24? Was it? I forget. It's been too long.
No, it was 2016. I just Googled it.
Yeah, it was 2016. That's what I thought. So the fireball, forward heavy kick. Right now, we're seeing kind of the results of a really aggressive first match. That's dead. Yeah.
Wow. I liked what Dova Chief was doing there. It was a really... like, there wasn't a whole lot of extension, but it was a lot of very safe, poke into plus frame and then wait. And, watch how long Karathion was willing to respect it. Because even if it didn't lead to kill, anything like on block into VT was getting Karathion out of the corner. And now all that work you've done as Dova Chief is gone. But Karathion finding the low forward in the shimmy.
Interesting getting out of the corner. Probably just wants to keep that pressure, but Karathion manages to get out with a stray counter hit. Dancier. Be careful with stand heavy punches.
Keeping it slow.
Right.
Oh, we get the charge. All right.
Okay. Both. Yeah, poking and unfortunately using that V-Trigger just to get some plus frames. Very hard to hit confirm that forward. I think it's one hit of the EX legs. Right now, this is Dova Chief's game. He can just keep anti-airing and keeping Nash out. Doesn't even need to spend meter. And yeah, that crouch light kick will confirm it.
Final round.
It's so interesting that we just watched a different Chun game, right? And while it's still fairly neutral focused, just watching the different hat that Dova Chief's Chun is wearing.
Kind of. He's still playing essentially the same game of poking, but Karathion, because Nash does not have the walk speed that Sakura has, cannot keep up with this poking game. Meaning he has to take bigger risks. He has to dash in. He has to dash back. He has to throw air and fireballs. He has to mix things up much more, or else Dova Chief will just smother him. He can't let Dova Chief think too much. And unfortunately, EX Boom will lead to a CA for Dova Chief. This won't kill, but it'll be close.
We're gonna have to see what is the situation on the wake up plus frames. I like more plus frames. I give you 1, I give you 2. Uh-oh, we got
Good
out
activation.
with the VT, though.
Oh, I think that was not intended, but it worked out anyway. The Chief takes the first game.
Yeah, so to piggyback on your description of the difference, a lot of it is the walk speed and the dashing, and I think you're absolutely right about that. But what I'm finding interesting, just as a comparison, right, is that as a result of that, when we were watching the previous Chun, she was on the back foot because of that walk speed. Just the difference in that means that Dova Chief here is the aggressor. Dova Chief is walking into the corner, whereas when we saw Uncle Venus spent a lot of his time being walked into the corner himself. It's these subtle differences in the pace of the matchup. Dova Chief is able to be a little bit more of the trendsetter in this particular permutation of a Chun matchup. But Karathion and Nash, I suppose, were always more keep-away characters, even when Nash was kind of at the pinnacle of his strength in this title.
I mean, Nash, again, he the weird character where nice setup, but unfortunately drops the combo, is able to extend it into an interesting EX scythe conversion to take the round. Just to finish the thought though, Nash has always been a character that relies so much more on his moves to make his spacing and to make his pokes than he has his own movement. The dash was a key feature of his that they kind of took away after Season 1, and he's never been the same since.
I mean, it's unfortunate. It's really interesting, just as a character study, to look at how important one particular tool can be and how minor adjustments can be a huge difference maker. And not even just in fighting games, but you look at, you know, any title where balance is a factor, and it's so easy, especially as like armchair people that, you know, aren't game devs, to sit there and scream about what buffs or nerfs we want. But your character works in a system, right? Sometimes you might think that a bunch of other stuff will make up for one tool, but, you know, you're never going to use a screwdriver for a hammer.
And to be honest, I think this permutation of Nash is appropriate. It's not great, it's not strong, but I think it's like so many people say, oh, just give him Guile's walk speed. It's like, yeah, but then he's just kind of Guile with weird alternative tools. You know, that's not making a new character. That's just making the character fit to a different character's profile. So the fix for Nash isn't as simple as I think a lot of people point out, but good interruption. There you go. That's what I was talking about earlier. With that, Krathian takes the second game.
I mean, that was a really smart challenge with the low short there. 1-1. This set will be a 1st to 7, so there is ample time for these players to make adjustments to one another. And both of these characters are, when you have these more neutral focused characters like this, the longer these sets go, the more you can make these micro level adjustments that really shine in characters like this, where the difference of a little bit of spacing can make a huge deal. And as you get an idea for your opponent's, you know, teching tendency, poking patterns, jumping patterns, where they like to stand on the screen, the longer the set goes, the more comfortable you feel about those decisions and how you implement them into your play.
Yeah, but you also are seeing that Krathian, again, is just having to take these risks that the average character doesn't. Dovachief's Chun is taking relatively minor risks in this matchup. Meanwhile, Krathian is going to plus 3 into a dash forward situation just to try to gain a little more pressure. Spending a meter and V-trigger just to get a mix-up when Dovachief just has to jump in with safely.
It's almost like I continue to feel like I have to call attention to the difference that we're seeing of two Chuns in two different matchups. But right now, Krathian feeling like what we saw from Uncle Venus before, where it's like, cool, you're getting a couple of pokes, you have to burn some resources and some big stuff, but you can see the limitation, because now we're comparing to we're comparing Krathian as Chun in the previous matchup, and now he's against Chun, and Chun feels so much more liberated here just by the difficulties that Nash is going to experience in this matchup.
Absolutely. Continuing to see it. This abuse in the corner to the stun, and that should be dead. That was not optimal.
Oh, and for the instant overhead or something, didn't quite work.
I don't know why he did
strong
that. He could have just done the V-skill combo and instead was trying to show off. So perfect for you today while you take this third game.
I mean, a W,
That always
the moral...
That always
moral
frustrates me. I'm sorry. That always frustrates the hell out of me.
You know what? I have never in my life been disappointed to only get a hood perfect instead of a real perfect. I'll take a hood perfect any day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially because one of my biggest weaknesses as a player myself is that I end up sitting really pretty on that hood, on that real perfect, and then I just die. I am not a finisher. I am not a closer. Bagels are for closers, and I've never had a bagel in my goddamn life.
Only locks for you. Okay, Dovachief looking good right now. Chance for a perfect, but not because of any...
Ooh, okay. Went for shimmies, but Nash got a decent throw range.
The throw again. Interesting sequence going on right now. Dovachief not challenging any of it, being very secure. Interesting anti-air. Nice jumping. Making some meter.
Ooh, I can clap back with my own low short too. Gonna finish the job. Yeah, still has the charges with the V skill. Or the V trigger rather.
Yeah, challenged with that 3 frame and just was ready to do it. And what Carathian went for might have been EX Moonsault, but just was not worth it. Another Moonsault showing not to be worth it. Good interruption though with the counter hit and conversion. So with the boom.
I wonder if Moonsault gets home field advantage at the Saltmine League.
No, not at all. Moonsault gets no advantage anywhere. That move is trash.
You couldn't see my face, but I was making a ridiculous pun face, and I'm just waiting for Regis to fire me on the delay.
Okay, block strings. That's it. I think that might be dead. Nash's health buff might save him. Yeah, today it saves him. Unfortunately, not enough because a meaty crouch light kick will allow Chief to take game 4.
Wow, this is looking pretty clean so far. 3-1 in favor of Dovachief, and I feel like the intensity is just there. I don't know necessarily what Carathian is going to need to do, but I think you need to figure out a way to slow this down, make Dovachief a little bit less confident, maybe sit still a little bit, and then you can utilize the fact that you've got these great dashes to go in and out, but that only really matters if you've got Dovachief sitting down and waiting. You can't float like a butterfly and sting like a bee if the other person is faster than you.
I feel like, and we're seeing it already, Carathian figured it out before we even talked about it, but using these fireballs a little more, making Dovachief rethink his neutral approach just a bit is going to be the big difference, but using EX legs to bust through that -3 situation, looking good. Get out with one V-trigger activation though. Doesn't use the block situation.
Yeah, I think I don't want to call it greed because I like the decision, but I think there's a willingness to wait on hit because you understand that you need to be cashing out for damage in situations where you can in this matchup because you're only going to get so many opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, Dovachief has the opportunity to finish this round out right now, looking at some plus frames.
Okay, actually is able to punish, but can't spend it all. That Carathian takes this round.
Round 2.
Looking a lot stronger this time. Just doing exactly as you said, slowing things down. Not with a dash-in necessarily, but with a fireball, with pokes. There we go, one fireball. Being maybe a little too greedy with the EX Scythe.
I mean, I am always astounded by the amount of horizontal space on EX Scythe, but not today.
No. He almost got a counter hit confirm with the crouch heavy punch into EX Tragedy Assault, which he tried to do there actually, but the EX Boom came out instead.
It's such a shame. I feel like Carathian has used most of their meter in this round after coming into the CA on Moonsaults that just didn't work out. It's such a shame. And speaking of shame on you, Dovachief, for the dirty mix. Okay, we blocked those, and now, oh no, that mix was just layer 1 of my layer 2 mix, right into the overhead, into the back, into the throw, break the person's back. Okay.
Nash wins.
I was ready to call the round for Dovachief for a second, but no, Carathian was one step ahead, hit him with the anime glasses. This is all part of my plan.
You were ready to call Dovachief. I was ready to call for Carathian when he hit the crouch heavy punch and instead goes for the overhead.
Round 1.
What is happening?
I know we're commentating some European matches, but those resets are looking pretty American.
Yeah, right there. Okay, nice jump over, but it actually gets an anti-air jab because life isn't fair. Good counter hit though. Do not dash in on this man. He is ready to interrupt you. Crush counter, but not to a big punish.
Dovachief, I feel like, is using different buttons to try to challenge here. That's one of the minor adjustments we're starting to see.
A little bit, yeah. Gets into the EX legs. Very willing to take the throw right now. Great interruption. Next with the Scythe follow-up. Gonna bait something with a Moonsault. Right now. No! He thought he saw Kikoken.
Somebody hit him with the Gilbert Gottfried. You fool!
Yeah, unfortunate.
It's a shame. And what's extra bad too is we saw the light moon scythe at one point earlier on that I wonder whether it could have been hit confirmed to the CA and maybe Carathian just kind of wasn't anticipating that it was going to be.
I don't think he wanted
on hit.
I don't think he wanted it to use it in that regard, but yeah, right now we're beyond that match at this point. Nice pokes at this corner. Raytheon just needs, yep. Oh, it's so frustrating when that happens. That is plus on block. Crouch medium kick into the trigger cancel is plus on block. But if you don't press a button that actually frame traps, you will get interrupted because people don't want you to get that button.
I mean, that's exactly what people mean when they talk about frame data as a social construct. It's like, yeah, it's only plus if you enforce it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we live in a society, but like, all right, cool, but...
Right now, Raytheon looking, yeah, too far behind to catch up. Dova Chief taking fourth game in this first to 7, if I'm keeping count.
Yeah, 4-2 right now. I feel like there's a lot there for Karathian. It's just, yeah, I think you summed up the difficulties that Nash is going to have in the matchup pretty well earlier on, and it just means that it's I think much more needs to go right for Karathian, and mistakes are going to be that much more punishing compared to Chun on the side of Dova Chief. I don't know that there's much to call out for Karathian besides keep doing the good stuff and it's not helpful to be like, don't make as many mistakes.
No, yeah. Wow, got a reset off of that V trigger. He might get a stun.
Ooh, do I see 3? I do see 3. Dova Chief saw it too.
Yeah. It was a good attempt, though. I appreciate that. I approve.
Sometimes you gotta let them know. There is like a psychological concept around like the rule of 3s. Like, nobody ever expects the 3rd one. So actually going for the 3rd one is not a bad idea, because most people see the 3rd one and they're like, there's no way he plays Rock 3 times. What does he think? I'm some kind of idiot? But no.
Right now, Dova Chief changing outfit a little bit just to get rocked by the EX Sonic Scythe. A fantastic anti-air. So fantastic, I'll do it twice. Taking his turn back. Nice meaty boom. Good interruption.
Oh, that working as an anti-air is so serendipitous.
Oh, air throws him out of...
Don't!
Yeah. Dova Chief gets an activation out of a sticky situation. Karathian just needs one interruption. That's it.
Oh my god, how many times is that gonna happen? How many times is Dova Chief gonna go for some kind of throw setup and Nash is gonna hit him with the privilege throw?
I mean, I think what's happening is Dova Chief's trying to mix it up, but sometimes your mix-up just is the wrong read. You have that much life, you can't afford to make one mistake. Then with the scythe. No, not with the moon scythe. Insult, excuse me.
That's... You hate to see it, to borrow a
Hate
phrase.
to see it. Just walk up, trying to get something with that back heavy punch. Doesn't get anti-air this time. Nice neutral jump.
Wow.
Okay. It's pressure.
Plus frames. Okay.
Just needs one.
I like
Didn't
Dova
confirm
Chief.
it.
Oh god.
So many lack of confirms, but this should be it. With that, Dova Chief takes game 5. Well, game 7, but that's 5th for him.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I like some of the really minor adjustments Dova Chief is making in their block strings. A lot of what we were seeing is a willingness to do like micro walk, stand strong over and over and over again to really just kind of flex your plus frames on Karathian. And Karathian had always been swinging after the second one. And it's taken until now to really start to see Dova Chief willing to do 1 or 2 and then wait a little bit longer and then hit him with a different button from a farther out range with the wish punishment. And that's going to ultimately dissuade Karathian eventually and mean the Dova Chief can start to walk him down again.
Yeah. But I like this right now. I like where Karathian's at. Good interruption and really controlling the match very well up until this point. Things are getting a little scrambly. Nash does not like scrambled eggs.
He likes them over easy. That's what he was hoping the set would be, but it's looking a little hard-boiled.
Yeah, keeping it frame tight that time with the crouch leg kick. Well, both players just being a little patient. Dashing forward after the -2. Such bravery.
Ooh, okay. The brave crouch jab counter poke. Right into the CA off the buffer. But hitting you with the anime eyes.
6?
But just like every other... Ooh,
No!
the
Bazooka. No! That was too bold. I'm sorry. That was too bold. Oh man.
That came
So
dangerously close to looking like
This is a nail biter. He's a nail biter.
It's like when the anime
Great
bad
ending.
guy's like, you're finished, and walks away when you're not dead, and Dovachief almost woke up with that Zenkai boost. We're fine.
Absolutely. Nice crossover. In the target combo to confirm it. Easy punish. The throw. Dashing it again, getting a little greedy. Nice jump in, tries an empty jump in fact. Dovachief gets that activation. One throw. That's not dead, but it's close.
It's
Should have
very
Chun now.
close.
Not quite enough. He's +6. He can afford to play the neutral, but instead dashes in and gets his meaty counter hit. With that, Kraithian takes his third game.
There has been a willingness to counterpoke in some of these situations from both of these players. I mean, we saw the same in the VT activation, to your credit, where, you know, plus frames on VT, but Dovachief sitting there and you need to make me respect you. And Kraithian finally making him respect him, 5-3.
Fight.
In this neutral game, not necessarily slow by any means.
Ooh, okay.
Punish that, yeah. Guys with the moonsault. You know what? That's less V trigger on deck. It's a fair trade.
Oh, that was almost really sick, but... Oh, punishing! Ducking the XBK?
Frame kill setup. Kraithian looking strong. No need to overextend. Doesn't get the confirm. Yeah, there's the side switch with the throw.
Oh,
Could have killed with the combo, but he didn't recognize the hit. Didn't think it would hit.
I feel like we need to buff like one normal in Nash's kit to have just a little bit more damage, because I feel like every round is becoming a nail biter because Kraithian just needs one more thing to land it.
Oh, okay.
That was such a brave low forward.
Yeah, unfortunate. Good on Dovachief for not abusing the stand heavy punch cancel, because that has gap and he could have been poked to death out of it. Nice jump in. Yeah, just
Cashing
spend
out
it.
to...
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you end up with roughly... Okay, you're at like 55% health if you're Kraithian now. You got corner position. Uh-oh. Did you block?
Now it's my corner position because I'm Nash.
Oh!
Nice air throw. Some meter with the moonsault. Trying to bait something out. But instead a crush counter is on Dovachief's side. The throw.
Wow. Really utilizing that walk speed. And it's the first thing that you called out
Beautiful.
at the very beginning of the set. And it's still coming into play 9 games in. But now we see that pressure from Kraithian.
It's 2, gotta respect it. He just jabs! The man just jabs after +2! Kraithian takes the round. I apologize. He could have died! He just does it. Good punish. -13
Wow.
off of that board heavy punch. We actually saw...
He's beginning to believe that this is a better character.
Yeah, right?
Ooh,
So
you
we
whip your
actually
legs. You
saw-
shouldn't do that. I get the trip card.
We saw Dovachief's early CA actually bite him in the butt because that early V trigger gave Kraithian the round. SV reversal. No anti-air.
Oh, see,
Walk
there's
up
that.
throw.
Now that there's the respect after the 2 Sandstrongs because Kraithian was getting punished for it. Now we're seeing that extra little wiggle room that Dovachief has bought for themselves. Oh, the tricky stuff!
That is... That's disgusting right there.
Yo, that tricky stuff came with some extra tricky, and Dovachief at 6-3 in this first to 7.
Oh man, Kraithian is having his moments. He's showing where this character can excel, no doubt about that. But he cannot afford to make a mistake. If he overextends himself and it doesn't pay off, it just goes so heavily in Dovachief's favor. It's almost unfair.
I mean, this is the start, and I really liked the corner offense as well.
Yeah. Nash's corner offense is really scary.
Okay, all right, just went for the back throw for the side switch.
I approve
I like
entirely. The jumps, the lack of anti-air, not so much, but hey, that's how it be sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do with the tools that you're given.
Nice slide under. That's the risk of the heavy boom at that range. It's very easy to react to. Okay, trying to bait something with that fake heavy punch, which looks like a boom throw. Okay, gotta be really careful right now. Chip is a factor.
You're even a... Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Oh, the smart stuff! So here's why that's brilliant, right? You and I both know there's chip coming. That means Nova Chief and Karathian both know there's chip coming too. So you know Karathian is just holding down back and looking to V reversal to get out at the first opportunity. So you blow up the down back with the instant overhead.
Unfortunate situation. I don't know if he went for the back heavy kick or not, or back medium kick. So many little minor mistakes going on, which happens on Dova Chief's side too. No player can play perfectly all the time. This is a great confirm, and it might kill, giving me time to say that these little mistakes add up to a bigger win for Dova Chief than it does for Karathian, and I think that's just the difference in the character.
Final round.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you get punished for making these mistakes way more. And unfortunately, what it ultimately means is that if he wants to win, Karathian has to
play. He just has to outplay Dova Chief.
You just are not allowed to make mess up. You just are not allowed to mess up. That's just kind of it. It's like, hey, make less mistakes than the other player. And that's always true, but it's extra true.
Yeah, punished. No follow-up, unfortunately. Rollback might have been a factor there. Okay, decent trade. It's better than eating the anti-air, eating the jump in fully.
This is tough though. You might be dead with CA on deck. Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
And that's
For dead.
Yeah, that finishes the set. Nova Chief taking it 7-3. I think I saw somebody call out that score in the chat. It's exactly what it was. Enjoy your bips and dollars on your salty bets. Do you remember when Salty Bets was like a real website? That was like an actual thing.
Hey, Salty Bets is still a thing on Twitch. It's still running. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. If you're ever having
switched
bad,
to be like
if you're ever
a
having,
Mugen thing, right?
Well, yeah. Everybody in the chat probably knows about Salty Bet. I don't need to remind y'all. But if you're ever having a night where you're like, I want to do fighting game stuff, but I don't actually want to play fighting games, and CPT isn't a thing anymore at the moment, just put on Salty Bets. It's a good time. It's complete horse crap, but it's a great time.
But before you put on Salty Bets, you should absolutely put on Saltmine League if you are looking for some Street Fighter, and there is Street Fighter to be seen on Saltmine League, which is on your Mondays, your Fridays, and your Sundays. So please show some love and follow Saltmine League on Twitch. They are working so hard to continue to bring all of you these fantastic matches. And we have still one more match for you today with the 4 Phils versus... I'm going to assume that this is pronounced Yus. TTM.
Yes. The 4 Phils. Honestly, my favorite Falk player that I've seen. I usually have like character favorites throughout the world. Like nobody can match Daigo's Guile. Like Daigo's Guile is just something else. 4 Phils, you have that with Falk, but that's not his only character. So we will see who he decides to pick in this match with Yus. I don't recognize Yus's name, to be quite honest. I might be a Seth player.
Unfortunately, neither do I. So we get to, unless chat wants to tell us who they are, we get to see the big reveal like the Red Wedding and just figure out what it's going to be. Ken. Okay.
Ken player. Okay. That is not terrible for Falk, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an Ed or even one of 4 Phil's other characters. Yeah, the way
I feel like. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm the way 4 Phil's uses V skill 2 with Falk feels like the character is finally complete. The character just was not ready on release. I'm sorry. The character just was not released well. And with V-Skill 2, it feels like Falk finally has a bit of pressure of her own in the neutral without V-Trigger activation to finally contest a lot of the neutral game that so many characters dominate in this current iteration.
Yeah, I've definitely not seen a whole lot of Falk, so my immediate thinking is that, like, do you want to pick a character like Falk into a character with the pace of Ken? And if you have other characters, would you prefer just to use that instead?
Well, that's the thing, is that Falk's space control is actually pretty good overall. The only thing is that I can understand the corner carry, the pace that Ken can get if you make one mistake. It's also a little harder for her to challenge the -4 situations, not so much for Phil's, but in general, I can understand people preferring the matchup in Ed's favor as opposed to Falk's. But we'll see. We just have to wait and see. Alrighty. I hope...
Yeah, I don't need to... There's no Matcherinos to plug, and I've already plugged Saltmine, so let's just say, again, if you missed it from the beginning, today is Houseman's birthday, so let's all wish Houseman a happy birthday, and thank him for deciding to spend today with us watching some sick Street Fighter.
Absolutely. Always enjoy some good Street Fighter. And you know what? We have another birthday of the Saltmine family today. It is Will Tupac's birthday. Fantastic Lucia player. So by all means, feel free to visit his Twitter and give him a happy birthday. Everybody enjoys a little attention on their birthday.
We are just waiting for Yus to get in to the lobby, it looks like. I mean, hopefully it's something innocuous. We are waiting to get in touch with them. Thanks all of you that decided to tune in today. Continuing to show love to all of this. I'm trying to think about Falk versus Ken. That's the thing that I'm now, like, trying to fixate on. Of like, all right, cool.
You're thinking heavily on it. So it's like everybody gets this idea of Ken in their head, right? They like characters, a lot of quote unquote rush down tools, but they don't have tools that allow them to skip neutral. They have characters that allow them to that has fantastic rewards for once you get a solid hit confirmed. His DP doesn't give him Oki, but it gives him a strike follow-up. His heavy Tatsu basically carries you from mid-screen to the corner. And his corner pressure is not the greatest in the game, but still very powerful, especially with the overhead mix-up. So it's not so much that Falk can't deal with his neutral game plan. In fact, she deals with it very well because he doesn't have too many fantastic pokes, and his fireball isn't particularly good. The only big threat that he really has to her in the neutral is A, the fact that if he does get a good read, he gets the corner. B is like the EX dive kick Tatsu and some of the V trigger 1 shenanigans. But if you play Falk patiently and you play her very well, her poking game's better than Nash, in my opinion. It's a lot less risk taking. So I think it's not a terrible pick for that matchup. It's not free. I don't think there's any free matchup in this game, but I can understand if you want to take that, if you want your game plan to be less dictated by your opponent messing up than it is by your offense being stronger than theirs, then I can understand the pick for something like Ed or Phil's other alternate characters are blanking on me right now. But I can understand the alternate picks. But Falk in herself is not a bad pickup for a Ken matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll have to see. It may not even ultimately end up being Falk. Like, as you've said, 4Phils has a whole bunch of characters, which is something I feel like we're seeing much more commonly now across a lot of the high level of Street Fighter V, too, is I feel like I can't tune into a bracket anymore without seeing people where while you're waiting in the lobby, you're like, all right, who are they even going to pick? Or sometimes you get the rare gem of two people that both have multiple characters and all of their characters counterpick each other. So you see some wild matchups as they're both trying to counterpick at the same time.
Yeah, the mental game starts at character select. It's always a weird situation. But hey, I'm getting exactly what I want. I don't know if 4Phils is just giving me a birthday wish, but we are going to see his fantastic Falk versus Voss's Ken.
right. Well, you talked up this Falk. I will say I am not very familiar with the Four Fills, but you are making me believe that I'm gonna be impressed with it. So you've set the bar pretty high. Unfortunately,
I've set
Four
it
Fills
pretty
has
high.
to now meet it.
He is using V-Skill and V-Trigger 2, a good setup. I know V-Skill 1 does negate fireballs, but the startup is just so slow and they gain so little meter for it. Just having... We're eventually going to see it down the line when the neutral has been better established. And right now you're seeing it. You're seeing the space control be really in Four Fill's favor. The anti-airs, the pokes, so little risk-taking on their part and so much reward in these light chip damage and light stray hits. Look at this.
I mean,
What is he
this is
supposed
already
to
a
do?
lot. I mean, there's something to be said that, I mean, my kind of evaluation was based more on, like, you had called out, you know, there's an expectation of what you expect from Ken, right? And it's this pace that we're now only just now getting to see him play. Although if you're gonna make mistakes like that, you're gonna get blown up for it. And hit now. We'll do it.
There's
set
the bubble.
trap.
Look at that.
Ooh.
What zoner character does that? Dash in and walk out. It's because of the pressure of the bubble that it affords him. But it takes a lot of time to set up, and you need to establish a neutral game that your opponent cannot just dash at before you start pulling stuff like that.
I mean, we see Yus now using the V-skill dash as a means of trying to steal some space in, to make you think about hitting buttons from farther ranges, and then hopefully that's going to establish a game where if Four Fills is swinging in the wrong spot, exactly like that, you're going to get to go to the skies instead and cash out on it.
That being said, Four Fills doesn't have to do much to work his way out of the corner, and that's it. Bubble me now, plus frames. Take the throw. Tries to walk through it and just dies for it. This CA will kill, and with that, Four Fills takes the first round, or first game. Damn it.
Oh,
It is.
it neither killed nor excited. I don't want to harp on it, but I
Yeah, whatever. I'm fine.
wow.
Good conversion from Yus. This could be a game changer.
Back strong. Ooh, hit him
the
with
air throw.
Now, Four Fills
Good.
only had to do that. If that CA was more visually impressive, Ken would have been dead.
That's why we need CA2. Everybody that's not hyped for CA2 as the new battle mechanic, it's okay.
Oh my God.
It's gonna fix
Imagine-
a few things.
As someone who has played Laura, living in a world where my CA can matter literally at all is a wonderful world. Now,
No,
it
you're
doesn't-
still not gonna use it because of EX Clap.
I'm not.
Unless that.
I'm not. You're exactly right. But
Yeah.
that doesn't. I would like to decide not to use it rather than to have it be useless.
All right, I can appreciate that.
Yo, a raging demon with your staff, I'd be for it. That'd be sick as hell. You know,
Nice
sick
anti-air.
these anti-airs, 2-button DP. I don't even need a motion.
Absolutely. The bubble's there. Okay, he walks through it. No punish. That's pressure.
Oh,
That's
wow,
plus 5, I think, on block. Insane.
Yeah, this pressure game is looking really good.
Can't do anything.
I think Yus agreed with me that looked like it was gonna cross up, but it did not.
Oh, poor Yus.
Oh wow.
Take the throw. Neutrals reset. Phils just needs one little bonk.
Look at the range. That was the attempt. Yus
There
was
it is.
standing at this range, and we saw a couple of like low strong wish punishes. It was like, please, just stick out the staff. I need to hit it. Like, put a hurt box
Nice
here. I
jumping.
dare you.
This is a great start for Yus. Big fault on Falk's part. She
Oh
doesn't have a
my
big comeback
God.
factor. Able to bust out, but even then, ooh, this counter hit matters a lot more though.
The counter
Side.
hit, the side switch.
Doesn't,
Ooh, hit.
yeah, doesn't know how to interrupt that.
I see two
I have the power.
into the bait. Why'd you try it? Yus looking a little no right now for Phils.
Oh man, but this is not, and I'm not throwing shade at Yus. He's trying to play around this, but this is kind of what I expected. Four Phils' Falk is so sturdy. The foundation is there. And I know the character struggles against others like Kuma and Seth, who have a stronger offensive approach, but Ken's offensive approach is just not that strong. His reward is fantastic. The approach is what matters in games where the skill level is equal. Right now, 4Fills is just showing that you cannot break him down.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really difficult, and I had kind of underestimated how big a deal this dominant neutral would be, because to your point, the reward once they are in is huge, but on top of that, it's pretty easy to forget. Usually you expect zoners to get rushed down, but Falk has a reversal. So even when Yus does get in, Falk's got that DP to slow it down, and you need to respect that. That makes it that much harder. Or the DP even just to challenge go into the air.
That was an interesting trade. Oh, I thought that... Okay, gets in regardless with a reset. A lot of damage. Might be the first round for Yus.
Oh, it might not. 4Fills has a whole bunch of resources. Ooh!
Fantastic punish. That is V-Trigger 1 EX only. That is a punish. Okay, 1 round for Yus. 4Fills has to be careful.
Oh
okay.
My god.
Ashing out early.
Handle this.
Down to DP jail you go. Bonk. Look at him just gliding around, walking around in this neutral like he owns it. He kind of does. Anti-air. Frames.
God, the stand short pressure is so good.
That good punish though.
Oh, the
Tries
back
to bait
throw
out
too.
something.
There was, yeah, way too much delay from Yus, having a whole
Dead.
lot of difficulty figuring out this tendency and whiffing DP, but you weren't ready to punish and got punished for your punish.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Ken normals, man. It's a struggle. Big struggle bus going on. The dash in necessary just to get close. Crush counter. The bubble yum. He's anti-air. He's air to air. Plus frames and challenges it. He's anti-air again. Needs to be in a situation where that dive kick can call out a typical anti-air response. This Falk theme too. Lands on the bubble. Thankfully, 4Fills was recovering from a jump and attack. Couldn't combo into the CA. Big reversal. There's the bubble yum again.
Oh my god. Really tried to challenge right through it. I prefer juicy fruit.
It's not done.
Yeah,
There's no
right
juicy
there.
fruit in this store though.
Oh. I know, Ken. That face says it all. What the hell is happening?
Falk win.
4Fills at 3-0 right now.
This is looking so hard
It's really
for
hard.
Yus to overcome.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
just the space control on the screen is so. If Yus has another character, like is a character switch in the cards? Like, at what point do you just kind of expect that this is the difficulty? I don't know whether Yus does play another character.
I could see V-Skill 2 helping a bit. At least it gives Ken an approach that is not jump or stand heavy kick. Nice jump in on 4Fills' part. Setting up the bubble again. Interrupted, but not ready for it. Wasn't expecting it to actually work. Nice jump in. There is a factor that we haven't seen much, and the main reason is that Ken's fireball, not the best fireball, it's well known, but Falk deals with it so well just with that undershot. Even if she trades on the fireball, she at least keeps him at bay. He can't just walk behind his fireball.
Right. She
Has
seems
to use it
uniquely
as a
equipped
hook.
to answer whatever he's bringing to the table. And managing the low profile, the EX Tatsu, no, you do not get to dash in my space. Finally blocking the left, right, but not blocking the follow-up. Next hit will be stun. No, finishing the stun here.
Full combo though, side switch.
Oh!
Yo, that's dead right there. 4Fills takes a 4th game in a row. Only 1 round going to Yus's favor.
Falk
4Fills with a 4-way mix. Who knows where that was going to be landed? Not Yus. Was I blocking? No. 4-0. Wow.
Looking really clean with the Falk. I'm telling you, man. Like, his Ed's good. His gameplay in general, 4Fills is a strong player, but he is probably the best Falk I know that I'm aware of.
Have we ever had a player get fired from Saltmine? And does getting 7-0'd
Oh,
is that grounds for it?
Yeah,
that's
we did
that's
fire a player yesterday, remember?
Oh, you're right.
fired for not remembering.
Oh,
We
damn
fired
it.
somebody yesterday.
I hadn't been fired yet. It was doomed to happen.
I fired it
block.
times today.
It's with the fireball. The fireball's looking good. Stun is a factor, and that's it. We're talking about firing too much, but Ken himself took to the flames and took a round.
Round 2.
Yeah, I mean, what we need to see from Yus is exactly like that. You need to stick to 4-fills. You need to get in a sense of the reversal timing, and you need to stick to it, because you're only going to get so many opportunities to get in.
Yeah. Even though the reversal hasn't been a massive factor. 4-fill so far is only reversal twice in this set. If even. He might have only reversal once. Nice whip punish. It's that. That is so much more important. You cannot let 4-fills continue to control this space as easily as he has. Fireballs are starting to help. Santier. Throw. Nice, confirm with the bubble yum. Good interruption. He's gotten that twice in a row now. He needs to start confirming that.
Okay.
Oh no, as soon as I said it! As soon as I said it, I'm a bad person.
Just setting out the bubble yum, the hubba bubba.
Now the interesting thing is it doesn't pop until she pops it. So you can walk through it. You don't want to walk through it and then have her activate it. That's plus. It's very, very plus.
Trying to throw these fireballs. And like you pointed out, you can't really play this fireball game. Tatsu through.
That's dead.
Oh!
Just chip anyway, so yeah. That's unfortunate.
Final round. Fight.
Phil's on the eve of a 5th game now. Confirm off of the stand. Medium kick. Got a little greedy with that down forward heavy kick, and now Yus is going to take him to the corner for it. Being said, this one bad button will be reversed.
Yeah, this is what you need for Yus needs to really stick here. But allowing himself to get forced out.
That confirms.
There's a lot of fear here from Yus. How often do you associate a Ken with just being patient and getting themselves pressed out of the corner?
Once you see them playing at this level, you see it a lot more. I do have to give a lot of Ken players a lot of credit. Muscle Noob, Yus, it is controlled chaos.
That's not the meme, though.
I know, but I'm not a man of the memes. I'm a man of facts. We are in a factual world. And right now, the fact stands that 4-fills is at 5-0.
You want to know some other facts?
Very strong
A
shot.
little birdie tells me that 4-fills is also a 2-time Saltmine League winner. So there's a lot of dubs coming up here in the past and in the present. Do we see 2 more dubs in the future to round out the set? You're not going to get 7-0'd, are you, Yus?
Round 1.
Oh, come on, man. Don't do this to him. This is like a really bad matchup. He's trying his best.
He is, and you can see it. There's a lot of, as the set is going on, we're seeing more and more. It's just, I feel like the chaos is almost a little too controlled. It's when Yus is getting in, the opportunities are few and far between, and not enough is happening.
Yeah, this is just so much in 4-fill's favor. Great interruption. Streams. Decides to challenge it to get the V-trigger activation. No confirm. No triple light confirm. Great trade in 4-fill's favor. No whiff punish yet.
Geez, just hitting these buttons, and it's like Yus does not seem to have the answer. Didn't study. You woke up, there was a pop quiz. Yus wasn't ready for it.
Pop quiz, how do you fight Falk? And he went, what Falk? Chips is a big factor right now.
Homeboy put C on every answer on the Scantron test. Sorry, it was a true or false exam.
Jumps in with no DP ready because Yus is now tamed. Rush counter.
God. The space control so
Oh.
on. This is the EX Tatsu, but you tech the throw just like that, you're out. It's
That's
back
it.
to neutral. Okay.
Deep.
Reversal anti-air.
Not even. I don't think that's even strike invincible on as an anti-air. It just works.
Forfils has full CA, so we're gonna see
Oh.
like a confirm into CA to kill.
Just a crouch, just a stand medium kick into shotgun into CA. That's all he needs. Nice dive kick.
EX Tatsu.
This can go sideways.
But
Could be reversal.
I feel like part of it
That's it.
too is Yus ends up having to spend so much of his meter to like get in and to try to dance around everything that once the offense does start, there's not a whole lot in the tank anymore.
Really not. And to add credit to Fort Phil's situation, you have to give up one of your punch buttons to keep that fireball. He just knows, like he is alternating which button he's using. He's clearly keeping his light punch at farther distance. As soon as throw becomes a factor, he's taking it into probably heavy punch or probably heavy punch. That's the ideal charge. He's alternating it so well and so fluently. You never know he's missing a button.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't even like. I hadn't. That thought had sincerely not occurred to me because there has not been a situation where I felt as though there was a tool that Forfils didn't have. Finally, a blocked reversal. Could this be the beginning? One touch for stun.
Stun?
No, just shy of it.
Yes!
IC2.
There we go. That should be dead. No scaling, please.
Oh no.
Oh, he's okay.
Jump over.
Not okay.
Uh-oh. Now you've got the whole screen, though. Okay, micro walk, stand short. That is only the second round, I think, for Yus in this whole set
So
so
third.
far.
Third.
Okay, the third.
XDP just to say no. What? Heal, bringing him out of the skies. Decent reset. Big crush counter opportunity, but it doesn't juggle off the Tatsu. This interruption. Carry matters quite a bit. Nice anti-air. Not gonna combo.
Oh, this is
There
looking
it is.
real rough.
+3, respect it.
Okay,
Air to
air to
air.
air for Yus.
This could be a game for us, for Yus.
Look
That
at
being
the
said-
fear from Yus, though. The dash
that's-
in off of that situation and then a backdash. So afraid of Forfils' defense.
One hit leads to CA and he's dead. Unstand medium kick.
If you're Yus, though, the right activation into VT, you could maybe make this happen. Every one of these fireballs is looking pretty brave. Dash in, respecting the plus frame. Shimmy, no bite, shimmy, no bite. Look at the shimmy!
Too much for Phils. No sweep for you.
Ken wins.
We're at 6-1.
You really tried something there, Phils.
Just trying to pull a punk. Just trying to pull a punk. Yes said
You tried
no,
it.
not today.
Do you know how I know that these players are way better than me? I have never in a match had the stones to do what just happened.
On both sides. To not tech that situation and to do it in the first place.
Yep. I have never been the person walking in and out 7 times, and I've never been the person to see it and be like, this guy thinks I'm dumb and hit the low forward. Ooh, speaking of hitting on all cylinders. Oh, didn't get the anti-air on the dive, unfortunately.
Anti-air again. Throw, best situation. Now Yus just needs one good hit. Not even a good hit, just a stand-like kick. Nice reversal. And the overhead. Are we seeing a reverse of fortune? Has Yus figured something out and Forfils' wall that he can break? Nice jump.
I mean, seeing a reverse 3-0 is often big enough. This is going to have to be a reverse 7-0. That is a tall hill to climb. Is Yus going to be able to do it?
Right now, looking good. Yus now whiffing some buttons in neutral, trying to buffer something to catch 4Fills' neutral pokes. Right now, gone unchallenged, but 4Fills is likely going to adapt to that. He's going to focus much more on these standing medium kick shotguns because they're safe on block, build meter, and he can just go into super whenever he wants.
The amount of EX costume dives that have just completely whiffed, it's just such a shame. You spend that bar to try to get in with something, and it doesn't work out. Excellent
challenge. Yus is not deterred anymore. No! This will lead to V-trigger activation. This will be a guess for game.
Okay, blocks the cross up.
Oh! Catches him out of the sky with the overhead. 4Fills on set point.
Okay. Are we fully awake? Yes? We're there? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
But we're still there. 4Fills still is on set point.
Blowing bubble yum again. Time Yus very willing to walk through it. Oh no, a bad forward heavy punch.
Okay, the neutral jump. And this is some of the bravery that I wanted to see when I called out that the chaos needed to be a little less controlled. Was that a bait? No, it wasn't. You got hit. I saw the whiff stand short. I thought you were ready, but you weren't. No anti-air on the jump in neither. Yus holding some down back.
4Fills has to confirm this hit. He cannot just raw activate into V-trigger. It is minus on block, unlike the rest of the cast. It's punish again.
That's what you need as Yus.
That being said, gotta be careful about these shotguns.
Ooh.
It's gonna be. He got greedy and he got away with it too.
Empty low? Oh.
But yet.
Plus frames. No bar from Yus. And just like that, you're all the way out.
To be really careful about fireballs right now. He can just catch him before the fireball reaches.
Oh, that trade works out in your favor. 15 seconds left on the clock, and you have the life lead. It could all come down to this.
Are we getting a timeout?
4Fills is on set point. You're behind now. Now you need to go in. And the unfortunate trade. The gray light forces the issue, and 4Fills getting underneath the fireball to finish it out 7-1.
Whew. What a set. Yus trying his hardest, finding some ways to get in towards the end, but unfortunately it showed off to be more of an exhibition match, showing off that 4Fills, I'm gonna say, is the best Falk in the world right now.
I mean, you said that out the gate, and then again, you know, being informed midway through, 4Fills also a two-time Saltmine champion. There's obviously, I mean, even outside of just the strength of the character specialty and familiarity, also, you have to be a good player to be winning tournaments on the caliber of the Saltmine level events. Brazil, wow. That's a reference I didn't expect to see.
Oh, man. Alrighty. Wow. Well, that is all of our sets for today.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, thanks everyone who tuned in and watched today. Thanks to all the players that volunteered to come out and play. Congrats to everyone who won. And, yeah, if you guys aren't already, please follow Saltmine League on Twitch and Twitter. As I've said a couple of times, they are here 3 days a week. Today is just day one. You can see the King of the Saltmine tournaments on Friday, and you can see the ranking tournaments in the Season 10 extra long ranking circuit this Sunday. 12 weeks of action, 11 open tournaments, prize money for top 3, and 1 season champion, and one place to watch it all, and it is Saltmine League. Make sure you follow them and show some love to, if you want to show some to me, you can, but make sure you show some love to my co-commentator Houseman, who, on top of just being a joy to hang out with today, it is his birthday, so show some extra birthday love to Houseman. Thank you for taking the time away from whatever you were doing today to celebrate with us.
Not at all. Thank you guys so much for having me today. Brad, it is always a pleasure to commentate with you. Ritas, thank you so much for inviting us on here today. And to all the players, thank you for showing us a great time with your skills.
Alright, we are out. See you on Friday, guys.
Great.